If what I'm about to show you does not scare you as an African and spur you to action, then I don't know what else will. Watch this video.
And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
hold on
making
a
the country
second. Hold on.
better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. Because if you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, the people of Africa, the people of Latin America, a lot of them deserve better. Now,
You've all heard it right. These are the same white people who are talking about recolonizing Africa for a second time because we have proven to the rest of the world that we are unable to govern ourselves. When they colonized us, we said we wanted independence. They gave us a semblance of independence. Look at what we have made of the independence. We have started running away from our own countries to go to their own countries because their countries are well governed. And they have said they are getting tired of being invaded. If we can't manage ourselves, it is time for them to put on the colonial hat and come back to colonize Africa for a second time and manage Africa. Think about it. When voices like this start coming up, know that it is not one man's thought. There are many people who are thinking this way already. It is just like when you see a cockroach in your house. If you see one cockroach, know that there are thousands of cockroaches in your house. This is something that should deeply concern you as an African. But come to think of it, have we not given them enough reason to think this way about us? Look at what we have done with the so-called independence we received. We are unable to govern ourselves. And we Africans are there praying and waiting for Jesus to come back and save us. They say join political party and be politically active. You say no, your own is to pray. Go and register for vote so that when the time comes, you will sanction the evil leaders. You say no, your own is to pray. When it is time for protest, come out and protest. Hold your government accountable so that you can at least have good leadership. You say no, your own is to pray. And this is where we are heading to. When thoughts like this start arising, know that many people are thinking this way. When I watched this video, I started thinking, I said, but wait, it is looking like these people gave us this independence just so that we will suffer and then give them reason to come back and recolonize us a second time. Because when you even look at it detailedly, they are partly responsible for what we are going through. Not even partly, they are grossly responsible. They are the ones who are interfering into our politics. These bad leaders and dictators we have in Africa have been imposed on us by them. They are the ones who chose our leaders for us. They are the ones who designed this system to maintain us in debt and poverty. So their main aim was so that after we have suffered enough, they will say, okay, they will come back to us as Messiah and try to save us from ourselves. Africans, what should you do going forward? It is time for you Africans to start getting politically active. A nation you are not ready to die for cannot give you anything in return. The people we call dictators who are mismanaging our country, they are just a handful of people that have taken the country hostage. There are just few of them. If the people can rise up as one man, we will send these people out of power the same day. It's not going to take 24 hours. But the problem is, how do you get Africans to take to the streets and chase these bad leaders? Imagine a situation where we have 1 million people marching in the streets in every African capital territory where there is a bad leader or a dictator. 1 million people marching at once. No military will shoot at such a crowd. But how do we get Africans to put aside their religious differences, to put aside their tribal differences and come together to fight for one single cause? That is the problem we have. If we don't wake up and stand up for our country, they are coming back. Thoughts like this are not anonymous. They are just signals that something big is brewing under the table. If we don't rise up as Africans to stand for our continent, I feel sorry for Africa. Look at Nigeria, for example. For a number of days now, Very Dark Man has mobilized a group of guys to go and protest to end insecurity in Nigeria. Instead of the people joining the movement, the rest of Nigerians are going about their businesses as if nothing is happening. But insecurity is a problem that affects everybody in the country. Instead of coming together and putting pressure on their government so that their government can at least provide them with security, some people are acting as if they are not concerned. As long as they have their daily bread, they are not concerned about the general interest of everybody. And this is not only a case of Nigeria. That is what happens in every country in Africa. When the protesters are few, it is just clear that they are not speaking the voice of the people. Because if it was a pain that was general, the whole people will rise. And when there are few people who stand up to protest, it is easier for the bad government to crack down on these few protesters. And when the people who are ready to stand up all have been arrested and sent to jail, tomorrow who will fight for you? Africa, you need to wise up. While we are sleeping, they are strategizing.